high-performance file system. My file name's up to 254 characters. My directory name's up to 254 characters. Oh, but wait a minute. How did I associate this with the program? Because in the Windows world, we say, like, if I click on a .wk1, I'll launch Lotus. Or if I click on a CDR, I'll launch CorelDRAW. But my file here could be OS2 newsletter that I created in 1989 when I first moved down to Boca Raton, Florida, and started working on it. 254 characters. It would be sort of silly to put a .wk3 at the end of that, wouldn't it? Right? Now, so what do we do in OS2? It's object-oriented. If I open up the settings here, you'll notice what's my current data type? It's a describe document. It is an object to OS2. When describe installs, it says, OS2, you're an object-oriented operating system with an object-oriented user interface. I will create a new object type in the system called describe document. Anybody ever clicks on it, launch me. So I don't associate by extensions. It's an object type. There is no object technology like that in NT, or is there in the Windows world today. Okay? And I'll show you. There's Lotus 1, 2, 3 for OS2. When you install it, it adds the object type. In fact, I'll show you. If you've got, hey, now I got to tell you, there's some people, IBMers out there, and they have stuff to give away. And they said, man, the logistics of giving this stuff away. And so I said, I'll tell you what. We did this the last time I was at the HAL PC Users Group. When I say, maybe I'll show you, and you say, show me, Dave, they throw trinkets and trash, okay? Can we do that? Yeah. Show me, yeah, okay. Now, I only say trinkets and trash because we have a lot of it. If you don't have any, it's very valuable merchandise. So you say, Dave, do you want to see this? Yes, give them stuff. Okay, now, here's yeah, oh, they want it bad. They want it bad. Hey, I got a few minutes to go. Hold off here. Now, what I'm doing right now is I'm launching another application here. I'm launching my Relish 32-bit calendaring facility. Okay, back off for a second, guys. I got work to do. Okay. We'll do that again in a couple minutes. How's that? We're going to do that again in a couple minutes. Now, I got my calendaring facility here. I want to show you a function of this. Now, notice that when I launched it, did you ever see the hourglass? No. I had my cursor the whole time. When I say I want to schedule a meeting, let's say I want to schedule a meeting today at something like, well, let's do this again. Let's put a meeting over here at 2 o'clock. And I say, I want the meeting from here to here, and here's some information about the meeting, etc., etc. I select OK, and it puts the meeting there. It says it starts before the current time. That's OK. I don't plan on going there anyway. Now, here's another one that it's reminding me of the other day. Here's my favorite feature, defer. It says tell when, and I can say, I want it out till then, and select OK. Now, that's before current time as well, so I just go ahead and say cancel, erase that one. As a matter of fact, erase note completely, yes. Now, I got the note sitting there. If I had Lotus 1, 2, I'm sorry, a Me Pro for OS2 here, I want to put my calendar in my document. I grab it, I drag it, and I drop it. And I put it out on my desktop, and it drags the calendar. In this case, it puts the calendar out on the desktop. Right there it is. There's my other one, and let me go ahead and say, OK, that's fine. I know about the meeting. If I drop this, now I put an object out on my desktop. That's pretty neat. Watch what I do. I'm going to click with the right mouse button. Notice that bottom menu item called CC Mail It. Okay, CC Mail installs on OS2 and says, you know, you're object-oriented. In fact, you're object-oriented to the degree that I can reuse OS2's class libraries. Isn't that what object-oriented is all about? Reuse existing code. So, through inheritance, I'll keep all of those menu items up there, but I will subclass the Workplace Shell menu, and anything that can be sent across the network, I will add CC Mail It. Now, if I go down here, I can't mail this across the network, so when I click on it, actually, I just launched a command prompt. Let me get that out of there. Don't need it right now. If I click on this, I don't have CC Mail It because that can't be sent. It only adds it to objects that can be sent across the network. I go ahead and say I want to CC Mail It, and I launch CC Mail. Now, this is beta code. The golden code is available for sale. I just haven't got it yet because I've been on the road and I didn't want to download it. So I launch CC Mail. There's my CC Mail status indicator, my inbox. The cursor is back because I've detached from the system message queue. There's CC Mail. There's the information. If I wanted to put in, I wanted to send it to somebody, etc., etc. And if I wanted to send anything else, I just drag it, drop it, and put it on there, and it sends it off with the CC Mail message. That, by the way, is impossible in Windows. It's impossible in NT because there's no object-oriented aspect to go ahead, subclass, use Workplace Shell items like that. Well, there is no Workplace Shell. Now, let me show you some more about this. Let me get rid of my status indicator here. Now, Popeye's still running. Let me launch. Oh, here's one of my favorites. WordPerfect 5.1. I got WordPerfect 6.0 on here, but I like the 5.1 for this. I'm launching it. The projector's got to catch up because I changed video modes. Launch a TSR. And don't you love that? I once said that that was ugly, and I should not have because, well, the product manager for WordPerfect 5.1 was in the front row and told me I shouldn't have. I took it back, and in fact, IBMers, that is a nice shade of blue, isn't it? Yeah? And he said to me, he came up later, he said, why didn't you show him the menus? And I said, menus? You have menus? For 2 years, I've been doing F5 and F7. Did you know if you click with the other mouse button, this product had menus? I did not. So I don't know how to use them yet. Let me do an F5, enter, bring a document into here. Now, with Alt-Home, I go ahead and put it into a window here. Again, the projector has to catch up with me, with the system. Now, by the way, did you notice what I just did? You know if you click on this bar twice, this is for Windows too. If you click twice, it puts it up to its full size. Click twice again, it brings it back down. It's a little quicker than reaching over there. So I click twice, bring it up. I'm going to go here. I'm going to say mark. I'm going to grab and mark the text on the screen here. Go back up to there and say copy. Put that in my clipboard. Then I'm going to go back over into my describe document here. Grab the describe document, put it into the foreground. Put my cursor right over in the upper left-hand corner. Now, by the way, that memory was paged out because it wasn't being used. Let me bring this up to about right here. Put my cursor about right there. And do an edit and a paste. And there's a cut and a paste of text from a DOS app to an OS2 app. And again, we can cut from DOS to DOS, DOS to Windows, Windows to DOS, Windows to OS2, OS2 to Windows, DOS to OS2. Well, you get the point, okay? Now, that, by the way, still sits out in my clipboard. I could go ahead and take that and put it out into Lotus 123 for DOS if I wanted to. Now, I got to show you. I'm going to go in with the menus for my DOS program here. You say, show me, Dave. Did you say that? Yes. So I'm going to do, show me. Now, I'm going to do a file go to DOS. Anybody got the DOS 6 out there? Okay. And I can't poll the audience. I apologize. Okay, most people tell me out of DOS 6 they're getting 620, 630K, which is pretty darn good, and they're happy. But then they load in their LAN drivers, and then they load in their mouse drivers and their other TSRs and stuff, and it takes it down. I have all my LAN drivers loaded. I have all my drivers loaded. Out of 640K here, what I'm doing is I'll shell out of WordPerfect in this box. Out of 640K, I have 753. Not bad out of 640, huh? Not bad. Now, how do we do that? When we built the PC in Boca Raton, we said it was not DOS's fault. We said from 640K to 1,000,000 bytes reserved for system use. As time went on, we gave a big chunk to VGA graphics. The way I use WordPerfect, I don't use VGA graphics. I told OS2 to give it back. OS2's DOS settings are very full function. I clicked on one box. It gave all the VGA memory back to the DOS box. Any text application, 753K. If you go out there and read Byte Magazine this month, Windows Magazine this month, PC Magazine this month, they will tell you that OS2 runs DOS applications better than anything in the world, period. And I'll tell you, in the past, I was a DeskView fan. QuarterDeck's DeskView was the best there was. And I still love DeskView, but this is better. It honestly is. Now, I got to tell you, one of the PC magazines said we blew it because we didn't give the capability of doing Alt-Control-Delete to get rid of a bad DOS session. No, I'm sorry. We came up with a new concept. It's called a menu. You select close. It says, are you sure? And it says yes. I'll do the same thing with Popeye here. Here's how I can go ahead and kill the Popeye in the DOS session. Now, I'll tell you that I'm not going to spend much time on the DOS better than DOS stuff. This is a... The DOS better than DOS is pretty much a given thing. Let me get rid of this down here. Drop it on the shredder. And by the way, that really doesn't shred it. It only recycles it. Now, people will actually say to me, now watch, while I open up the Windows apps here, let me go and close down this window here. Multi-threading. One was opening, I closed the other. Multiple threads, it's real important. Well, people say to me, they say, David, why do you want to run DOS? Well, because my father ran DOS and his father before him, and by God, okay, we give you DOS. Well, why do you want to run Windows? Because it's the only place you can get the Gary Larson Far Side calendar. Absolutely, yeah. Now, but that's not for long, because they're working on a 32-bit OS2 version that includes an OS2 tip of the day. Yes! Now, oh, wait a minute. Tomorrow's the joke I think I wanted. Let's go over to the 5th, and I like this one. It says, well, of course I did it in cold blood, you idiot. I'm a reptile. Now, so here's a Windows session. What we did here is I created a virtual 86 processor in the chip. All Intel chips from the 386SX up can do this. In the processor, I loaded a copy of DOS, loaded a copy of Windows, load in the application. So we don't have to do much conversion of the Windows code. Now, but wait a minute, what about to display it on the screen? We cut a black hole in the video buffer so that we don't get in the way with any unnecessary CPU cycles. So we let the application go directly to it. Now, as a compatibility test, and purely a compatibility test, oh, actually, this isn't the one I wanted, but I like it anyhow, dinosaur cranial capacity. Now, as we go on, let me mention a little bit more about what's going on. So I've got the Windows application running in its own virtual DOS machine. You'll like the next one better. You really will. In fact, it's for the cat that's over there on the other side of the room. Did I tell you you can buy OS 2 over there at the door right now? $100 upgrade. $100 upgrade from DOS, and I asked them, what do you do to check to see if they upgraded? And if you know how to do a dir command, you can upgrade. Okay? Now this is actually the one that I wanted to do for the compatibility test. This is Anthilda's Flap Cats. Now, I am not a cat lover, but for 15 years, for 15 years, my wife said, honey, can we have a cat? And I said, no, dear, I'm not a big cat fan. But then my 2.5-year-old blonde daughter said, Daddy, can we have a cat? And I said, why, sure you can, honey. Watch the bottom of the screen. The application thinks it's on the Windows desktop. That's fine. It's going to throw the Flap Cat across OS 2's desktop. That doesn't matter. We can handle it, no problem. Now, I'm going to take this Windows application and minimize it. I'm going to launch another Windows session, another copy of DOS, another copy of Windows, another Windows application in a separate virtual machine. Now, why do I want to do that? Well, you don't want to. If all your applications, Windows applications, are perfectly behaved and they have never failed, run them in the same session. But if you've ever had one Windows application take another one down, you might want to do it this way, because this one is totally isolated from the other. They're protected from each other in separate virtual machines. Now, I want to show you a couple of things we can support. I'm going to launch a Me Pro here. This is the Windows version of Me Pro. And I'll tell you, for those of you that don't have OS 2, I hate the fact that I have to re-emphasize this, but our marketing hasn't got the point across. You don't buy Windows, it's on the OS 2 diskettes. And you don't buy DOS, it's on the OS 2 diskettes, okay? Now, we haven't done a good job of letting people know that. Now, I'm going to open up a document here. Within this document, I can show you object linking and embedding. See the hourglass? Sorry, there's nothing I can do. I'm in a Windows application now. It's single-threaded. Hey, I am not going to knock Windows applications, folks. I like them as much as you do. I would rather have a multi-threaded OS 2 application, but I like these Windows apps, and I can run them. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go down a page. I mean, we all like them because there's a lot of fun out here. One of the things, an audio person, this sometimes blasts out. We support video for Windows. How do you install it? Same way as any Windows application. You type in setup. So video for Windows goes ahead. Okay, you get the point. And to kill this, just do something else, okay? Now, I got to tell you, this is an absolute, ooh, this is neat. What if this hangs on me? Well, you go back over to OS 2's Presentation Manager, the Workplace Shell. Now, when I bring up the Workplace Shell, if I double-click on here, close that down, go back to my task list. Win OS 2, hey, I selected that. If you can select it in the Workplace Shell, it has a pop-up menu. It says, ooh, do you want to close it? I say yes. And it says, are you sure? I say yes, and I just killed that Windows session. But what about the Far Side calendar? No, it's in a separate virtual machine. They're protected from each other. And by the way, oh, but NT fixes all that. No, it doesn't. NT runs all Windows 3 applications in the same virtual DOS machine. It can't do what I just showed you. It can't protect them from each other. Okay? Not just that. Windows applications, if you're not familiar with them, they do a thing called cooperative multitasking. Any one application can take over control of the environment, and nothing can stop it. In OS 2, those two virtual DOS machines, we preemptively multitask them. So I can run one in the background doing communications. That one that had the video for Windows, I can go ahead and do Pixar's Typistry. I love it. I run it in the background, but it takes hours to create three-dimensional rendering. I leave it in the background and go work. I just hotkey out of there and go back over and work. Oh, let's lighten the air here. Here's one more. This, again, is a cat joke, but I love it. You've heard of aardvarks? Well, these are our dogs. Yeah, I love that one. Yeah. Okay, we got to do one more. This is not, I did this one already. Let me see if I can escape. Yes, I like that. I can escape out of it. Let me do one more, and this would be, yeah, I think this one here. And it's not cat-related. Oh, yeah. Oh. Says, whoa, that was a good one. Try it, Hobbs. Just poke his brain right where my finger is. Okay. Now, Oh, I love that. I love that. Now, I tell you, on the way over here, I read Byte Magazine, I read Windows Magazine, and I read PC Magazine. All three of them had articles stating that OS2 runs Windows applications as fast as native Windows on DOS. All three. That's not me talking, that's them. Most people that are using it out there saying it's faster, faster. Now, I want to show you something with the multimedia stuff there. And again, everything I'm showing you, this is shrink wrap code you can do by today. I'm going to launch the multimedia code, and I'll explain what's happening here. Within OS2, I have the OS2 Multimedia Presentation Manager extensions. What I'm going to show you comes with OS2. Now, I had a university come down to the Executive Briefing Center in Boca, out of the East Coast, multi-million-dollar multimedia lab. They have PhDs came down there, PhDs computer science, professors. They were going to show us their multimedia lab, then they were going to have us give us the executive briefing. They had a PS2 Model 95 they brought with them. A Model 95 is massive. It was a 50 megahertz, 486, 32 megabyte of RAM, 256K, a level 2 cache, and all it had was video for Windows, and asymmetric toolbook, and DOS. Okay? They showed us their multimedia presentation. When they started it, it went... And they got so extremely embarrassed because it worked yesterday, but the multitasking is totally unreliable. It's unpredictable, I think is actually a better word for it. And they were embarrassed, but why? Because they had PhDs in computer science, okay? And a multi-million-dollar multimedia lab. I'm going to actually, instead of play one video thing, maybe I'll play 2 video things. In fact, in OS2 you can play 3, or maybe 4, or maybe 5. Okay? Now, when I show you these, this is pretty neat stuff. Let me close this down so I have a clean screen. Within this one here, I'm going to do a file open. I'm going to grab an AVI file. Now, we support, let me grab Harley over here. We support both the OS2's all-time motion, that's our codec, compression, decompression. We also support Indio, which is Intel's compression technology. So there's this one over here, and over here I'm going to do a file open, and let me grab piano over there. Yeah, piano. And it's sort of corny, but it gets the point across. You know, this is because it's a non-threaded application. Coders, when you write your code, write threads. The operating system doesn't put in threads by default. The workplace shell is well threaded. The people that wrote that didn't write in threads, and that's bad coding policy, right? And it takes a while to get used to threads, but after a while it's going to be a lot better for all the applications. Now, I'm going to do a play here. I'm going to grab this Harley. Now, I'll tell you, we can play 30 frames a second at this. Now, let me go ahead and put this in the size that video for Windows plays it in, the size that OS2 can play it in, or the size that you really want it in. Okay? This is in software. There's no hardware here. Yes! Okay. Now, that was created, I'll tell you that was created at 1024/768. I am 640/480, and that's the reason behind the bad resolution. The resolution was originally 320 by 200. I just blew it up to 640/480. So this was the normal resolution. This is software decompression. There's no hardware involved here. Now over here, let's go ahead and start this piano playing. Again, it's a little corny. Watch the fingers. Listen to the music and watch the fingers. Macintosh can't do this. Microsoft can't do this. Amiga can't do this. Look over here. Let's start up the Harley ad. Watch the fingers. There's not another technology that can touch this. And I can start more. Now, I got to tell you, I got to wait for the Harley ending because I like that part. Where the motor starts? Yeah. Everybody loves a hog. Okay, now, I got to tell you, Byte Magazine, last month, it was the issue that has fatware on the cover. There's a review of the OS2 multimedia extensions by a guy named Tom Yeager. He wrote the Multimedia Encyclopedia for Macintosh, Amiga, and the IBM PC. Now, the Amiga people have always said, we've always been able to do that, right? So this gentleman to me, the Multimedia Encyclopedia, his recommendations, OS2, the strongest multimedia environment in the world today, period. And that, to me, was pretty good. There's no doubt it's great. Now, I'm going to show you one more thing. Let me launch. Now, show me, Dave. Yeah! 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 Now, what I showed you right there was What I showed you was video. That comes with OS2. The stuff that I just showed you, the multimedia extensions come with OS2 2.1. You know, and I don't even know what they're throwing out there. Is there any cash coming out there? Cash. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run some audio. And I want to see if you hear it skip a beat or if you see the hourglass. Let's crank some audio here. In fact, let me bring this up a little bit because I have control of the volume right here. Let's crank it up, but then I'll go work. See if you hear it skip a beat. Look for the hourglass. Oh, let's go a little louder. Yeah, now let's take this down. Let's go and work. No magic here, folks. This is coming off my hard disk. No dancing, please. The fire marshal says.
The jam pumping. Why you
got some DOS applications here.
The jam is
grab some DOS applications like this. Let's go ahead, open up this program all at the same time. But do you see, now, where did my music go? No! This has happened to me once before, and I got to tell you, David's not a happy fellow. This has happened before, and it can actually hang me up. And I did it. I did it to myself. So you say, show me, Dave. Watch what I show you here. And I'm going to show you while this comes up, and I know exactly why this happened. Dave's doing a nasty thing here. The video clips that I wanted to show you, those aren't supposed to run with the multimedia stuff that I wanted to show you, but that Harley thing turns me on, okay? So what I just did was, and one of the ways that you can hang hardware in OS2 is with a bad device driver, and so I had to keep an old device driver in. I'm going to reboot my system right now. I don't like that, but I have to do it. I'll tell you though, one of the things that's going to happen, I want to explain what's going on along the way, and it gives me an opportunity to tell you where we're going to be going next. I got to go through my whole 16 megabyte and all that stuff and power on password. Then OS2 is going to do a check disk. Because I use the high-performance file system, though, and by the way, NT supports high-performance file system too, because Microsoft wrote it, while I go and run the high-performance file system, it's going to find some things on my hard disk. It might find clusters that in the DOS world it would say, they're broken, they're gone. In the OS2 world, it's going to say, they're broken, I'm going to fix them. Yeah. Now, I got a 400 meg hard disk here. It's going to take a second to do this. So as soon as I get the key indicator up there, somebody tell me so I can do a password. It is a good opportunity, though, for me to tell you where we're going next from here. I'm going to talk about Taligent in a moment. Taligent's pretty important. Taligent's pretty far out. Taligent's out there where Cairo is. It's farther along than Cairo, certainly. And I'll tell you where I say that because Apple started working on the kernel for the Taligent operating system, Pink, about 5 years ago. Okay, they started into it quite early, and that's one of the reasons why we teamed up with them on it. Let me see if I get myself started up here. Yeah, and there I go. I'm going off to do the check disk now. Now, OS2, like you see right here, does not run symmetric multiprocessing. And I apologize for that, sort of. How many people need it on their desktop today? That depends. Not too many people need it on their desktop. NT is going to come with symmetric multiprocessing on every machine. With OS2, you can buy it separately. If you went to Comdex, you saw OS2 running on 4 Pentium processors in the Intel booth. You saw OS2 2.1, this code right here, running on 2 486s on an AST machine in the IBM booth, 2 486s on an ALR machine in the IBM booth. Symmetric multiprocessing, we're going to ship that this year for those who need it. We are also going to be able to have security in OS2. OS2, as you see it here, will never be as secure as NT. NT, the security is in the base kernel, and that's where it should be. OS2 will have security. We will be doing file level locking and that kind of thing. We will sell it to those that need it as an add-on. What's coming next from OS2, though? A thing called the Workplace OS. It is built upon the Carnegie Mellon Mach 3 kernel. We took their kernel, altered it, and called it the IBM kernel. It's an open kernel. The Carnegie Mellon Mach kernel, then, by the way, see my described document was open, right? In fact, I saw one of your Help PC magazines that says problems because you got an open file handle and you lose power and you're dead. No, not in the high-performance file system. You fix it. It found it and it's going to fix it. Now, Workplace OS will run on RISC processors and it will run on CISC processors. In other words, 386, 486 Pentium, as well as RISC processors. Right now, Power Open is one of them. It will support OS2 applications as they are right now with the same API. We don't have 5 sets of APIs. We have one, the Workplace shell, and OS2's Presentation Manager APIs. These applications will work on Workplace OS. OS2 applications. Well, what about Unix applications? Yes, we will support AIX applications running Motif. We will support Mac applications, not in the first release. Mac applications, I like that. We will support DOS and Windows applications. The Workplace OS will boot up on the kernel on a RISC or CISC processor. And then we have what we call schizophrenic. Again, it's a 400 meg hard disk. It takes a second. We have what's called schizophrenic operating system in that we can have multiple personalities. These personalities, this is pretty neat stuff. These multiple personalities allow... Now, I also have to tell you, OS2 is going to start everything that was running. Okay? Everything that was running, it's going to go off and start right now. And that can be bad, because what if it starts up a thing that you didn't want it to start up? Yeah. Then what you do is once you get the hourglass, you hold Control-Shift-F1 and say bypass that. You can also turn it off yourself. Okay? But when OS2 comes up, if you don't want it to start up all of the jobs, I mean it's going to start up everything, you can actually go and bypass that. So the Workplace OS, is OS2 a direct intelligent or NT knock? No. No, and most of the stuff you told me about NT sounds like it's going to be a good server. But every magazine I read today said it needs 16 megabyte and 100 mega hard disk. And now I'll tell you, the magazines say OS